Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Horry Sheet Show. Good. I was looking for my volume settings and I didn't have it right away. Anyway, tonight's show is gonna be a little bit different. Um, I have no vodka, but on top of that, tonight I'm basically just gonna be restreaming a reaction video done by a channel called Rich 2150X. His name is Rich West, and he's going to be talking about a video he's reacting to called The Federation and Human Collective Unconsciousness Humans Are the Key by Yazi Swaru. I don't know Yazi Swaru, but I've been interested in this whole Galactic Federation, Palladian stuff, maybe even Star Seeds going to be talked about in here. I don't know. And, you know, I know a lot of people that are watching this channel are going to be thinking I'm going off the deep end, turning into planets and galaxies and UFOs and aliens. And yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing. I'm looking into everything. I look into everything. Just because I'm a flat earther doesn't mean that I don't believe there could be something else out there that we can go to, some other planet, some other terra firma place. I don't know what this realm is after studying all of this since 2015. I have kind of like come full circle, and what I now just believe in as a sort of baseline is that we are trapped in our portion of what we know to be a pretty damn completely flat. What I believe is that we are trapped on a portion of what I believe to be a completely flat plane of land. And there seems to be issues with something above creating a lens effect. This is interesting to study when it comes to radio wave propagation, things like ham radio, how the signals are able to travel so far, given the technology is supposed to be more of a line of sight thing. And so, bouncing radio signals off of what? Up in the air, who knows? We're talking dome, we're talking ozone layer, who knows what it is? Electric magnetic fields, who knows? Everybody's studying different parts of this, everybody's believing different things. Um, and all I know is that this place sucks. So if I die, I want to go out of this place. If that means that we should look at what we think is lights in the sky, well, what are those lights in the sky? I don't know if this video is going to tell us much about any of that, but there's been a narrative brewing for probably hundreds of years about a galactic federation, how we may be monitored by these other entities, and maybe they're trying to save us. And I think this might touch on some of that. It touches on, I know, a lot of interesting concepts. I'm not asking anyone to buy into any of this, but I will be sitting here doing my own thing. I have a whole lot of work I've been procrastinating, so I'm going to be doing that as I listen to this video. And I'm restreaming it so that we can have a discussion. So leave comments in the chat, leave comments after the fact in the comment section of this video after I'm live. Let's talk about it. This is gonna be one of those what do I call it? Grassroots think tank sort of episodes. You know, grassroots think tank. Remember that? So yeah, this is one of those episodes for you guys. Let's get it going. I won't be interacting a whole lot. I might pause it from time to time to kind of discuss how I feel about what was being said. But yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna be doing my thing. Got some stuff to do.
Hi, how you doing? Here we go. Let's talk about the Galactic Federation and you and me. What do you have to do with the Galactic Federation? What does the Galactic Federation have to do with you? The consciousness that you are, your state of being right now, how awake you are, how conscious or unconscious you are, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about this. And if you haven't met the Tigetan Pleiadians yet, this is an introduction to them as well. I've been watching their stuff at Cosmic Agency YouTube channel, and the stuff's just blowing me away. So this is kind of a reaction video, a commentary on what they're going to share with me and you about the Galactic Federation, also known as the United Federation of Planets. Okay, now here's the thing. For many, many years, I've had an opinion about the Galactic Federation. Man, I don't like them. Don't really know why. I don't have a lot of details. I never looked into it. When I decided I didn't like them, that was a long time ago, back in the days of the Ashtar Command, Ishtar Command. Anyway, right? Jesus, Sananda on the spaceship, blah blah blah. I wasn't buying it. There's something I didn't like it, and that's just an opinion. Everybody, you're entitled to your own opinion. So I never really looked into what the Galactic Federation is all about. And this is like over 15, 20 years ago. Actually, it was before the internet was even freaking invented, literally. I was reading books on the subject. And Galactic Federation. Well, in recent years, a lot of information has been coming out about the Galactic Federation. A lot of ETs are communicating through various contacts on Earth. We're getting a lot of information. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. How much of it's true? How much of it's bullshit? Who's talking the truth, or who's sharing something of value, and who's sharing something to get us confused or messed up? And what's going on here? Are we being played? What's going on? So I've decided to take a deep dive into the Galactic Federation and start getting some feedback and information. So I've been watching these videos from the Cosmic Agency and the Pleiades, the Tibetan Pleiades, and I like it. I like it a lot. I've been doing this into this stuff for over 50 years. First became aware of the advanced civilizations off planet and prison planet Earth in the 70s. So about 50 years I've been somewhat engaged or involved in this sort of stuff, right? So I've been watching the Tibetans and communicating with them, and it's great. I love it. It feels good. It feels wholesome, sincere. It's easy to connect with. But the challenge is going to be if you are having a lot of conflicting information coming in about this group or that group, or anything extraterrestrial, and any group out there, you're going to have more than one opinion or perspective. And it's just what we have to deal with. We have to sort through the information and just pick what we like, what resonates with us, what makes you feel, not just makes you feel good, but in some way empowers you, makes you feel like there's something that you can do about your situation. Okay, so all this comes into play. But I have a lot of emotion and a lot of things to say about the entire subject. So when we watch this, we're going to watch a little bit of it, kind of an introduction to the Pleiadians and the contacts, what they have to say and how they have to say it. And I don't know what to expect, because I've never really listened to anything about the Galactic Federation. So let's do a little bit of this together. And if anytime you want to stop me talking and just watch this video, I highly recommend that. There's a link down there, and you can do that. Okay? All right. Here we go.
So excited. I got a mute button, toggle button now, so I don't have to keep doing all that crap to unmute and mute. I'm unmuted. I'm unmuted. Okay, guys. Thanks, Rich, for giving us that wonderful introduction. Yeah, so he's asking us to take parts of this that we feel that resonates with us, and I ask that you let your intuition guide you here as we listen to some pretty interesting topics. I'm excited about this, so take it away, Rich.
with the very interesting technical conversations that Dale had with Yaski, I'm going to share with you two-part video which we just recently had with Yaski, and I want to share it with you now because it's actual, it's current, it's regarding the situation on Earth and whether or not the Federation should or not and can or not be helping the humans on Earth.
Oh man, do I have a lot to say about that. I'm sure a lot of people do. Man, do I have a lot. I can't tell you. I can't just, whoa, so much to... Okay. And I'm going to get in here and say it too, because this is a reaction video. This isn't the video. This is my reactions to this subject. It's a very important subject because, gee, you think the Galactic Federation might have something to do with how things are going on Earth? Just saying.
And this video will be made in two parts. And the first part is going to be shared with you today. It's quite long, but it's very, very, very important you understand all these different points, because as Yaski explains over and over again, it is the people from the inside, from the Earth, that have the power to influence the changes and make those changes happen. There are different perspectives here to be considered, and just remember, it is not just this perspective or that perspective that is right or valid. There are different angles to look at this from, and she will be presenting it from all these different angles. But the main point is always us from within are the Federation. We are those members of the Federation, being their shadows, being their reflections, because it's all connected, a unity. And here I want to make a point. In the video you will see the term mirrors being mentioned, that the Federation members has mirrors on Earth. This topic is quite complex and quite difficult perhaps for 3D minds to understand, but I just want to explain very briefly what mirrors are. When you have a person in 5D, it very often creates, he or she very often creates a mirror reflection on Earth that looks just the same, but it's not exactly that person. So that's why, among other reasons, the topic of photos is very delicate, among many other reasons, because many times the mirrors of them can be found on Earth, and they are occupied with their lives and not knowing anything about their equivalents in 5D. So it is a very delicate subject. So this is what it is being referred to as mirrors. However, the topic is very complex, and I hope maybe one day we can discuss this in more detail.
Talking more along the lines of like parallel realities here, where we, have other versions of ourselves living other lives in other places. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what she's kind of hinting at here.
Wow, deep, real deep already. Already I'm getting, oh shit, you mean I got to take responsibility for what they're doing in the Galactic Federation? That's fucked up. Yeah. Me, responsible? Seriously? Fine then, let's do this. What did I do this time? Oh man. I think it's going to have a good ending. I have a feeling this is going to work out real. It's like, hey, it's your fault. No, not fault. Responsibility. Respond. As in, again. Okay.
And then I want to distinguish it from the law of mirrors being mentioned by Yaski also. So you don't confuse these two terms here. The law of mirrors she was referring to as the law in which the metaphysical, universal, natural law in which by perceiving certain things, observing and looking at certain things, you will be recreating and manifesting and generating more of the same. So
right, yeah. It's like think of an elephant, big pink elephant, and just hearing me say that, people will bong, and it's like they're mirroring what I expressed, or they're mirroring what's going on in the environment. Kind of like that. We'll get into it some more. Hey, I'm not familiar with the study or the subject of mirrors or having mirrors here as different from a mirror, having a mirror here, different from, the law of mirrors and the mirroring that way. Two different concepts. I get that, but this is the first I've really heard about it. I've heard that, that asshole over there is just a reflection of me. Like, what the fuck? He looks like an asshole to me. Well, duh. And sometimes I'm okay with that. It's just, a lot of people will use that on you. It's just a reflection of yourself. When you want to complain, I just want to bitch somebody out for something. And somebody smart ass comes up and says, it's just a mirror. That's just a reflection of you. And so what are you? A reflection of me also, being a wise ass about making me wrong, about bitching out somebody else? What?
I share the same sentiment with Rich on that note.
Anyway, I'm just talking here. It's hard being human, okay? It's difficult. I'm getting a headache just talking about that. I'm probably not really human, so that's probably a lie right there, huh? Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is just my reaction, okay? I'm going to settle down and listen and pay attention here in a minute, but I just want you to know I can get emotional about this shit. As I learn new things and incorporate it into my great understanding of the universe, okay? Right. And once again, please, link down below. Watch the video. You don't have to listen to me talking about this shit. Because this is just my opinion, okay? And not even really my opinions right now. It's my emotional responses to what the hell? This is getting too deep, too fast. We're not even 4 minutes into the video, and I'm like already going, oh, no. I got to be responsible for all this? I wanted to be doing some name calling and shit.
I will have a link to the original video that Yazi has created after the stream. I did forget to put it in, but I'll go ahead and do that. And if I don't, you guys remind me.
Motherfuckers! Uh-oh.
Dude, and unmute my mic. I think that's what's crashing OBS right now. I have no idea why OBS wants to start crashing. Maybe it's the content I'm putting out. Hey, this could be a thing. Censorship and whatnot. Hey. So yeah, this key works. It's not the pause break key. It's happening when I'm turning myself on and off with the video. I don't understand, but I'm gonna start, again, tech support.
And this is one of the reasons why the situation on Earth is so complex, so messed up, because we are living under this law of mirrors, and we believe we are victims and helpless and powerless. So we're going to be reflecting more of that, and that's what's meant by the law of mirrors here in this context. Complex, and remember, it's going to be different than Federation having mirrors on Earth.
Yeah, okay.
That's a different subject. This topic.
Thank you for that. That's good to know. I have a lot to say, but I better say it fast because I'll forget fast. So we'll just move on here.
Is going to answer many of your questions, I'm sure. And stay tuned for the next part, because the next part is also highly fascinating. And it was a group chat that we had with Yaski, Lina, our new contactee, Estela, and Christina, and myself. And we all were bombarding Yaski with questions, and she was so patient and so passionately explaining to us everything so we can understand. So stay tuned for that video as well. It will be an important one. Well, enjoy the video, and until the next one.
Okay, thank you, guys.
What I will say won't be received well, but people must save themselves. And the only way to access the Federation who is really controlling Earth, must be done from the surface, not from here. I know people want us to go and solve the problem from here, us confronting the Federation from here. It does not work like that.
I get the save yourself part. It's like we do create our own reality. We have to step out of it and just see what we really are. We're creator beings playing the game or in the role of me. Hi, this is me. This is my life. It's like this and this and this. And I have these problems and these issues and concerns. And I have these things that make me feel good and feel better. And da-da-da, the me, the kind of the ego-ish kind of personality character that I'm being. But ultimately, stepping back, I'm creating all of this. So here I am on planet Earth, and what am I creating today? Well, I got a wall. I got a window, and I got some clouds, gray clouds out there. It's nice. It's okay. Healthy. That's good. This is going to get deep here, but I just want to get, just really let it sink it in. Okay, I am responsible. I'm creating this myself. But now when we talk about the Galactic Federation, I was all ready to go just like all blaming and shit. Motherfuckers, give us a hand here. But yeah, I hear you. I made a video yesterday about if I was the boss of the ETs, what would I do? And what, if you were the boss, what would you do? And you were calling the shots. And basically same sort of message is if to get help from the ETs would be to ask for help me know thyself kind of thing. Help me understand myself and the situation so that I could, change things, create a better reality, change my reality from this idea of being in the matrix and being trapped within a matrix to changing that. It's weird. It's really a head trip when you think about it. Flipping back and forth, being in the matrix, being the effect of reality or being the creator of it. Boom, 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 boom. So, okay, here we go.
We have no one to go against. The door to the Federation can only be opened from the surface by simple people, broken shoes. There are not enough broken shoes, and they have no great impact, since all is in the hands of the media to direct the masses. If the solution is on Earth, I still believe the media part is crucial. That's what shapes the main collective here, not the broken shoes much.
Yeah.
And why can't you address the controllers from above? I am not clear on why not. And just as the broken shoes here are too few, the same applies to you rebels up there. Telling humans to win this alone is like me telling you, organize yourselves up there and transform the Federation. Easier said than done. Why? Because broken shoes are the controllers. And you and Robert and Christina and Estella are the instruments with which Taygeta is trying to contact the controllers. The broken shoes are manifesting a horrible situation for themselves. And even though they do not want it at an individual level, at a collective unconscious level, they do manifest the nightmare. Not because they want that, because they don't, but they are still manifesting, bringing the genocide up to themselves because of the bad nature of the law of mirrors. What about the Federation level controllers? You said they were in Saturn. They are the ones setting up the plans and keeping things like injections in motion. They could easily dismantle it all, but they are not. setting people into the trap for their own destruction. So they are an accomplice and part of the controller system, preventing you from taking over the media. Why prevent that? Give people a different message in the media and let's see what they start to manifest. You can't be expecting rainbows being manifested from the minds who are fed nightmares. Feed them something different and then see what they manifest. Or at least do not censor the alternative views so people can choose. They are not given an option to choose.
And we can all vibe with that. We can all vibe. You're listening to a channel right now that you're only able to listen and see, because you subscribed back to me in 2015 before I got put on that list. That list of channels that is censored for an alternative opinion, an alternative news source, and more believable, more factual information. You know, they don't want that. They don't want the spread of knowledge. They want to keep your powers in a box. They want to shape your mind the way they want to shape your desires. And in doing so, they shape your intentions. They harness your energy, harvest you. Harvest it in a lot of ways.
Yes, this is unbalanced, beyond fair.
I agree. Let me take it. I'm gonna see if I can look into this a little deeper. So it's unfair, and it's just not right that the media can just keep feeding the flame and feeding people brainwashing propaganda, and then people just listen to that and they start believing that, and so then they start creating the negative reality. And I get it. It's like, hey, if the news media was wholesome and sharing the truth, then the masses would start learning and growing. My perspective is like there's children and the parents, and do you take care of the children or you not? Do you protect the children from negative stuff? Of course, if there are other adults messing with your children, you would step in as part of your responsibility to create it. And would you blame the children for creating their own terrible reality because of the things they're thinking and talking? Well, they're being influenced by this. And these are the adults. So wouldn't we play, let's step back from that and say, okay, this is a bigger game. And what if it's not all on us humans down here? What if it's about us being human, pretending to be human, but it's really about up here, and the game is being played there too. The dark side, the light side, those want to help humanity and those that don't want to help humanity. Is this a challenge for them as well? What is the right move? What is the right thing to do? And I'm thinking it is. And I think this is the sort of thing that Gosha was just asking. I think it was Gosha asking. So I imagine that the answer is going to be that Yaski's going to say something about how you and we are those beings in the higher planes. We're stepping back and getting real deep about this, but you and we're creating all of this. That's like really stepping back from it. But let's say there's some bad guys in the Federation that are pulling the strings to control and dominate us, the humans down here, and the Tibetan Pleiadians and others races are trying to help us here, but it's challenging because of lots of reasons. And one is that because we're hearing that we are responsible, and the way to access the Federation is through us. And if it's a mirror thing, we are the mirrors of them, or they could even be the mirror of us. And so I would say, go do this. Go within, like, and just like, okay, I am these bad guys, and you got to get rid of the label bad guy and good guy and put more into I'm one of these, my interest is this, and kind of take on the beingness and the perspective of those within the Galactic Federation who are calling the shots, who are either allowing or creating the negative phenomena and influencing the negative things on Earth that the humans are being the effect of. So go into being that, and that would be like the portal, or that would be the doorway in from on the ground here, and tapping into that beingness or that consciousness that is what we would call the regressives. Okay, so and then I'd have to take it to the next level up. If I'm being the regressive controller and dominator, puppet master for those on Earth who then control the media with all the interweaving factions and connections, but to propagate the agenda of creating, the controllers in the Federation, want their people, their agents and agencies and organizations, factions and groups, that they want those to manipulate the thinking of the mass consciousness of humanity, and they do it mainly through mainstream media and social platforms and stuff. And they are also, we could say, they are blocking us from on the ground here. They're blocking us from even using social media platforms, making videos about what's really going on, the truth of the matter. So I would have to be the regressive or the controller, get into that beingness, but then I'd have to step it up one more level of understanding that I created without being the controlling and dominating character or personality being, extraterrestrial being, reptilian or whatever they are, in the Galactic Federation. I'm being that, just like I'm being this. But I also know that because I've done a lot of past life regression work, giving and receiving 500 hours or so, I know that I've played both sides. It's like Luke Skywalker facing his dark side. There's a part of us all that is the dark side, that has done things that we understand the regressives in the Galactic Federation, the rulers, controllers there, have done. I have done similar things. Okay, long, long ago. Or in a reality, just a shift over. Different. So we have this about us in character and nature. So we can be, and we assume these personalities and characters. And we get emotionally involved in the beingness that we're in. We become the character. We get emotional investment, and we have our allies, and we have our goals and purpose and strategies and tactics and the game of it all and the winning and this is important. It doesn't matter if you're on the progressive or regressive side of this ET phenomena. This can happen. But you and I are that too. So, if I'm looking at me being the controller, pushing the agenda to control and dominate Earth from Jupiter, for example. Okay, if I'm that, if I step it up one more, I know I'm not that. I'm also the light side of that on that level. And seeing both sides, the duality of that, okay, I'm creating and responsible for the darks, what we call the dark side and the light side, both. And from above that, if I could assume that level of creation and responsibility, I'd be going, okay, this is the game, light and dark. I'm playing it. I'm creating both. From this perspective, it's just a game. It's literally, it's just a game. It's like nobody's getting hurt here, not from my level. This is a level outside of and above even the ET levels of consciousness and reality and the matrix within which they are. We're like in a matrix within a matrix, or a reality system within a greater reality system, or a fishbowl within a greater fishbowl, bubble of reality within a greater bubble of reality, which is like what's being referred to as 5D. But
yeah, and this, maybe if you didn't read the chat or if you're just tuning in now, yes, I am shirtless because it's hot in here and I don't feel like turning on and off the fan. And I just read the Twitch rules. Nipples are okay if it's a workout stream. So, not man. I listened to this man's information because his out-of-body experience, information, and tips, etc., are superb. They match and mirror many different experiences that I've had. The way he describes what he feels, what he goes through, how he thinks this and that works within that realm of astral projection, man, is spot on. Man is spot on. And I'm not saying that I can like go out of body every time I try. That's far from it. I haven't been like consciously out of body, like, okay, I want to do it, and did it since high school. But I've had several experiences since then where, you know, I've still done it. I don't practice. That's why I don't. I'm a walking encyclopedia of things that I could tell you to do and try that will work eventually. Helped so many people overcome different hurdles throughout the journey and have their first OBE. So many people. But the thing is, this man has had an out-of-body experience. He went above the world that we know, and that's what he saw. He had to go through a dome. So when he got out the dome, you know, he experienced some really interesting stuff. I covered that on my show. Pull down the Horry Sheet Show video section on YouTube. You'll see another video where I think Rich West is in the name. You'll see it, you know, are we in a dome? It's something like that with a dome picture. Anyway, keep going, Rich. Sorry to interrupt you. Fantastic.
it's just a reality system. It's not really densities so much as it is systems of agreement and creation of reality systems. Okay, so I have to step out of that even to a higher level of consciousness, understanding, you know, and just imagine that I'm playing both sides, and from that level, I'm the game creator, and I've got to balance the game. If I feel boots on the ground here on Earth in this beingness here, I'm going, hey, this is getting out of hand. This is getting a little too, you know, it's in game creation mode. There's an unbalance in characters. Like if you ever logged into a game and you're this character and the other characters just, you can't beat them. It's too overwhelming. You have to balance hit points. You got to balance defense mechanisms and quirks and superpowers and ammo, and you can level up, sure, but it's gameplay and game creation. So you got to be the game creator instead of the game player, and you got to balance the game. So I think that's the question we're looking at right here. This is just my reactions to this sort of thing. We're 8.5 minutes into this, and this is a reaction video. This is me talking about some very important things, okay, as expressed by a very experienced Taygetian Pleiadian contact. Yaski. She really understands this. She's got full recall of many lifetimes of dealing with this issue and the regressives and the negatives. And, you know, there's boots on the ground, there's fighting, there's just, you know, there's a war going on. But at what level do we need, you and I, as being human on this planet, what level of this game do we have to understand and look at from in order to start tweaking it? And I'm saying we got to step it up and take responsibility in that way. That said, I could jump over and be all bitchy and complaining too. I'm flexible that way, okay? But I do see that this is a necessary strategy. I mean, I can see the value in doing it. I'm going to do it tonight too. I mean, we're just 8.5 minutes into this, and I'm going, okay, I can do this. I'll do this. And it's easy, especially if you have a vivid imagination. You can just like, let's chill. Okay, let me imagine not just that I'm in the Galactic Federation and tips. Like, this is all new information for me. I haven't heard Jupiter. Oh, is that where the Galactic Federation? I didn't know that. I've heard that Jupiter's bad and Jupiter's got all the going, but I never looked into the details. What's this about? I got to check out Jupiter. Oh, Jupiter too. Oh, no. I've been busy doing other things. So I go, okay, Jupiter, bad guys, got it. Imagine a council meeting. Not too many. There's thousands of these guys, if not hundreds of thousands, Galactic Federation members. This is like the UN, you know. I don't know what the hell. But this, I'm going to focus, imagine being there with the group who is in charge of what are we going to do with Earth? How are we going to, what are we going to do? So I'm going to imagine that. And then I'm going to imagine being the big dog, bad boy, okay? And now I have to get into the positioning, the perspective of the bad boy, our girl, the being, who is like, hey, Earth, we're winning this. And you got to understand, this is my perspective, not Yaski's, not cosmic agencies. This is me, my current understanding of things is that life is a game. Beings do it for experience. And there's a level, there's a galactic war going on, okay, in what I call the greater reality. It's out there in the universe. There's a galactic war going on. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff. So it's these guys against these guys, or these guys, generally speaking, against those guys. It's a game. It's life. It's the way this reality, this system of reality has been created and agreed to and thus lived and experienced. So within the context of that game, you've got adversaries, you got opponents, you got competition, you got variety, you got challenge, you got things to do and all this, okay? So at this level of the game, Jupiter, I'm being one of the beings that are in charge of the control and the domination of Earth. Get into character, man. Oh, I know what the good guys, they're not the good guys, they're the idiots. I know what the idiots are doing. I'm all over that. We're not going to let that happen. And so we got a good game going here. We almost got this plan controlled and dominated, and we're going to do it again and again and again. This is what we do. And yeah, we have challenges. We have these other factions, these other ETs that are working for liberation and freedom of spirit. Now here's a tricky thing, just between me and you, is that I believe that the Galactic Federation, or the United Federation of Planets, was originally designed and created by lots of different civilized planets who were, generally speaking, into the freedom and liberation of spirit and into peace. Yeah. love, kindness, generosity, all this. And they united together to oppose the regressives, or those other planets and civilizations and groups and races that are into control and domination of civilizations and planets. So they are doing this, and they're picking off one planet after another. After so much time goes by, these other free planets go, we better get united. We're going to have to resist this or oppose this. Okay? So they do. So this is the Federation is like the organizational structure, and you might say government, or at least guidance, if not completely govern, but the guidelines of how we can get together and deal with the regressives. Okay, this is the United Federation of Planets, or the Galactic Federation, right? Generally speaking, good guys, right? Within the Galactic Federation, if you were one of the bad guys, and your military machine and your intel and your espionage, all this stuff is like super good, and you've been doing it for millions of years, or at least hundreds and hundreds of thousands. They're really good at this stuff. This is what you do. And would you, if you could, put a spy, an agent, in the Galactic Federation? Would you put 2? Would you put 10? Would you put 1,000 in there if you could get away with it? Of course you would. If you could get them in key positions in government, or at least this agency that kind of controls, or is the guiding light for what is the United Federation of Good Guy Planets. What are we going to do? For some organizational structure, we have the Galactic Federation, and they will make these decisions for us and guide us on what to do with the regressives. Well, Earth is here. The regressives got this. These guys are over here. And what do they do to help the citizens of Earth relative to the citizens of the other planets that are part of the Federation, right? So here, in the good guy organization called Galactic Federation, I believe there are agents, bad boys. And this is where it's getting fucking difficult. I think if the agents and the bad boys weren't here, there'd be a whole different way, things would be playing out differently. But that's the game. It's just a game. Kids right now search the internet for a good game to play. Whether it's hack and slash Dungeons and Dragons, or whether it's Space Wars, mercantilism in space, Galactic Citizen, these different EVE Online or something like that. It's these
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Massive multiplayer games. The children on our planet choose to play for entertainment, conflict, blowing shit up. Mirrors. Bigger game. They're doing it for real. Both sides. But from outside of that game, you've got children playing the game of galactic war in what is being called fifth density reality, or 5D, but it's just the greater reality. It's the universe going on at a different level. But it is the children are playing the game. Okay, so you get outside this. Now, what I'm saying in your meditation here, your wild and vivid imagination, you imagine I'm imagining being one of the agents, the spies within the galactic organization, the Galactic Federation. Now, nobody knows I'm a spy, except maybe some of my spy buddies. And we are influencing the other representatives of the United Federation of Planets into the collective decisions on how to deal with Earth. Does this mean?
Is he talking about he's basically kind of wake up the unconscious people, or at least clue them in on the mission in general, instead of just being a zombie going through life playing whatever part they found themselves to be playing in this tricks? Probably because I need to reboot this computer or something. Giving me some light. Keeps crashing every time I'm trying to go or hide myself, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. Let's see. Let me put it back on and it'll happen. There it is. Pick it back up, Rich.
This is me. I'm doing a good job. I've got them all buffaloed and bamboozled and I've got my buddies. We have a whole structure within the Galactic Federation. And we know what we're doing. We're really smart. And we are manipulating the fuck out of the rest of the people or the agencies, factions, at least the ones that are involved with Earth. So we've got it taken care of pretty much. So, and it's just pretend for a minute that you're outside of this game and you're just playing a game and you chose bad guy or galactic dominator, spy character in the game. Okay, it's just a game. So now what do we do? Well, if you jump back down here as a human being being taken advantage of, and we're being mind controlled and messed with the the media and there's an overwhelming shadow government, Khazarian mafia, essence to life on Earth. The organizational structures of the dark side is just phenomenal. They have money and they have power and they have influence and they're doing everything they can to get the population to think about certain things and agree to certain things and do certain things. But it is us, it's our fault or our responsibility to pay attention and change what we think and feel as regards what we're being told and what we believe they're doing. Okay, so we flip back to here, but how am I going to better conditions? I'm going to have to look at this as a way of balancing the game mechanics. I'm going to have to flip up, way back up above the level of 5D or that, and let's look at this from a higher level of understanding and gameplay. And I go, okay, and you're not really taking sides. If you drop down into the game of the regressives in what we call 5D and the progressives in 5D, in other words, the ET races, right now, the ET races out there, there's generally the regressives and the progressives, okay. Above that, I'm looking at, okay, it's all fun and games, and we got the game is being played out down here, and this consciousness can be any one or all or different players and move around and enjoy the experience of being the various characters in the big game of control and domination of the galaxy. That's looking good. Again, you're the game creator, you're the designer. You could say the architect, right, in the Matrix movie. And you go, look, how's it going? Well, let's look all the way down into the ground, on that level. And I go, is this balanced? Is this okay? Am I good with this? I'm going to say yes or no. Oh, that's okay. Or I'm going to look at the human experience on Earth, what we call 3D, in this reality system we're experiencing here. And I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to look and I'm going to ask myself from up here, out here. And it's not really up, it's just expanded consciousness and awareness and understanding. It's like more like bubbles. Step outside that game. It's the bigger game, and the game within the game within the game within the game, right? So where I'm out here looking at this, and so I'm going to look. Okay, on ground level, am I okay with being put upon, oppressed as a human being? Well, I'm kind of loving it over here if I'm being the super rich power elite. That's going pretty good. It's a challenge, you know. As a super rich power elite, things aren't really going all that well for us. Things are getting a little weird. We're getting a little pressure here, and we're being contained here, and you know, the population is finding out a little bit too much about us. So let's double down and do this. Let's don't let them talk anymore to each other. Let's separate them, distance, get a nice distance between each other. Put on one of these and give them one of those. And don't let them talk to each other about the serious stuff that would expose us. We're going to have to do that. So they're working it, but I'm up here looking down into the game, and why would I, from looking from up here above the game, decide?
Who I found climbing on my green screen. Hey, hello, Mr. Snail. Hey, I'm the guy that's responsible for making all kinds of white jizz stain looking shit marks on Horry's green screen. Well, I'm gonna go back in the yard and be a good little snail.
As a game architect, game creator, why would I change my mind about, hey, this looks good to me? Why would I do that? It's a whim. Hey, is that what I want to do? Does that seem like, you know, hey, we could create the game with like this, or we can create it like this. We can give those guys this superpower. We can take away that superpower. We can give them a skateboard. And we'll give these guys a tank. Yeah, that'll be fun. No, that's out of balance. That's no fun. We got to balance this up so it's more of a, you know, it's enjoyable to fun, play, watch, get into the avatar, be it consciousness transference into, hey, I'm being this now. Hey, this is kind of fun. Well, why would I change my mind as an architect? It's because I changed my mind. Because I wanted to. How can that happen? Down here on Earth, on the feet on the boots on the ground, you and me are those players. Okay? Down here on the ground, I'm going, you know, I don't like the odds here. One, I don't like them as a human. I don't like them as a player in the game. I don't like them. I don't like being a pawn. If I'm being a pawn, I don't like how it's, you know, this is out of balance. Now I can bitch and complain and tell somebody to help me and fix it all day long. This is not right. This is fucked. This is overwhelming. This is.
It's about to turn into a nature show. I now have a new friend. We have to name him. He's gonna help me kill the roaches in here. The baby wolf spider. And he's making his way around the room here. Thought he might get on the marker. I was gonna let him say hi, but he's not ready yet. He's still warming up to me. Nail was cool though.
It's like, damn, how could we possibly? I could do that. Or I can go, you know, I don't like this. This is out of balance. It's the same me, the consciousness. You could say it's a mirror. I'm a mirror of this greater consciousness. But I'm not even talking in the Galactic Federation on Jupiter relative to other planets and civilizations that are seeing things a little differently than the Galactic Federation is. We're supposed to see things differently than what the Galactic Federation sees because that's part of the game. From a higher level, that's the game we're playing. We've created a game for the children to play. Just like here in this world, we've created war games of all kinds on computers so that the children can play. Oh, but look, the adults like to play these games too. Ooh, look. But there we are. So there we are. We're creating these games on these different levels and levels and levels. So if I want to be the architect or to take responsibility for this, from up here, I just have to be down here and give it some thought. Consider that. Is that even possible? Of course it's possible. It's all in our imagination anyway. We're imagining all this shit into existence anyway. So especially if you have a great vivid imagination, imagine yourself being this. And with boots on the ground, you've moved like player online, player one, what's it called? Ready Player One. It's a virtual guy goes into virtual reality and lives it, right? There's a lot of movies and videos, movies like this. Anyway, from here I go, oh look, it's like being the architect and shifting consciousness into this human experience and going, you know what? This is a little out of balance. I'm not liking this. And it's not just this you on the ground here, the broken shoes on the ground that's not liking this. You're going, and it's the same you same fucking thought. I'm not liking this. Let's tweak this. And now being responsible, tweak the game without blowing the whole damn thing up. You go, well, what can I do? Where can I do? How can I do this? Well, I can
Keeping a balance. Gotta keep the balance, or everything's gonna blow up.
pull some strings in the. Let's see, what seems to be the problem when I got boots on the ground here on planet Earth, getting the shit kicked out of the human race. It's a little not right, a little out of balance. Okay, so that means the players I've got playing here and created with pulling the strings in the Galactic Federation. It's not so much the Galactic Federation. I'm looking at it as a game architect, right? I go, okay, what's wrong? Now the Federation, the United Federation playing, yeah, we got good guys and we got loving, kind, decent beings, and we've got the other side that wants to control and dominate and eat things, gobble up the universe. Yeah, this is a good game. Yeah, freedom versus control and domination. Yeah, this is okay. It looks pretty good. Where's the problem? Okay, I've got my spy guys infiltrating the Galactic Federation. Well, instead of being intrusive into the game and just like making things disappear and new things appear, how about if I pull a few strings and put a few thoughts into the consciousness of those with boots on the ground on Earth? Yeah. I'll put some ideas there that, no, wait, I've got the consciousness, the beings that are in the Galactic Federation. I got the agents in there. I need to tweak the game with a little more balance. I would like to just play within the context of the rules that I've already got established for the entire game instead of break rules or write new rules. Is that even possible? Let's see.
So, kind of like along the lines of like the Avatar, movie, I guess, is what it sounds like. I haven't watched Avatar. I know, don't hate me. But I definitely vibe with some of the stuff that he's talking about. There's a reason why, I guess, if they have this ability to manifest instantly stuff in here in the playground, with the boots, for the people with the boots on the ground that are unhappy. It's where do we get intuition from? Where do we get our random inspiration from? Some people just channel specifically the type of frequency or energy or past life, or beings, and they claim to channel them presently. So it's all interesting stuff to me. I'm taking it in. I'm getting my stuff done too, so that's good.
I need to out. That's it. The Galactic Federation that would normally have a heart and a kind consideration for humanity, they would, this is complicated, many levels, right? We have to get more people awake, looking down it. I have to have more people awake in the Galactic Federation, and they have to become aware of the agents within the system, spies. The Galactic Federation is supposed to stand for the free, generally speaking, I would imagine, the freedom and liberation of beings in the galaxy, civilizations, planets, of a loving, kind, decent nature. Okay, so that's what we're supposed to stand for, and this is our organizational and governing sort of body here. Okay, all right. Spies in there, just like spies have infiltrated the government of countries, or let's say agents for the dark side. They really don't represent the government. For the people, they represent their governing, but for the dark side, the super rich power elite on Earth. So it's mirror. This is a mirror once again of what's going on in the Galactic Federation. So I would have to, one, change, just become. It's kind of cheating, I think, if I come from up here and become the Galactic Federation players that make the judgment calls on what to do with Earth and how and when and how, all that. But if I come in through the bottom door, the ground level, and just reach back up, expanded consciousness in that way, being responsible for the game as an awakened, boots on the ground kind of guy, I can come at it and start making changes there, and that way change the thinking of the Galactic Federation members, and put into the consciousness of the Galactic Federation members that there's spies or there's agents for the dark side within the organization. Find them and get them out of there, and let's see how things start playing out then. Yeah. And then that would start causing changes from above, so to speak. But they've actually started with inspired thought. You know how you get the story about inspired thought from other beings or other aspects of yourself, and they kind of, and you get all inspired and you're going to do something. It's like some greater aspect of self has inspired this part of yourself to do something wonderful. Well, it can go the other way. We down here on the ground, we can imagine putting an inspired thought into the consciousness of other aspects of ourselves and the members of the Galactic Federation. Like, hey, please start looking a little closer at who's calling the shots on the planet Earth group that is kind of in charge of what's going on Earth, and get that started rolling. Okay, so there's that. And then on another level of just start going, like a spark, 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 spark propagation of the concept of awakening on Earth. To make that happen at a greater level, I would have to start thinking up something personally, right here, boots on the ground. This me would have to start coming up with strategies. How could it even be possible for people to wake up even more and more and more, especially if we got the news media suppressing us this way or dumping propaganda this way, while the social platforms are limiting what can be said on social platforms. What else can be done? How can this work? What are we doing? How do we? I would have to come up with that, wouldn't I? You would have to come up with that, wouldn't you?
Because we don't know the bigger picture. We're not in the know on microcosm. We're in the macrocosm, right? Is that how it is? The one's smaller, one's bigger. It's like, yeah. So if there's mirrors of us that are higher up in the hierarchy here, of creating this place, even, or controlling aspects of this place, it's really interesting to consider that. To consider how we may get some of our inspiration, some of our passion, stuff like that. Am I following this? Because I know my attention is a little bit divided, but I kind of think I know what he's talking about.
And then we put that in consciousness, expand out, be the architect, the creator of all of this, and then you write that program. You just put that in. On Earth, boots on the ground, people are starting to understand that they are creating this. But you have to be here, going that way, putting this thought into the architect, the creator of all this. You be the one. You see? So now the greater consciousness, that creating these realities within realities and within realities, is inspired to go, oh, hey, I got it. Here's what I can do. It'll balance out the game. And keep myself happy on boots on the ground, planet Earth. Yeah. This will work out. This will be good. And it's not cheating. I'm not hacking my own game here. I'm just allowing it to play. Because this is what the whole thing is about anyway, really. Experience and learning and new skills developed, the evolution of consciousness on all these new levels. And I'm waking myself up too. But I'm doing it from kind of both ends at the same time. Anyway. Whoa.
Higher self.
So that's my thoughts. We're going to watch a little bit more of this, and then I may take a break, and we'll do another reaction to it. But all of this is how I get going when I watch any of these videos from Cosmic Agency. Man, and more specifically from Yaski Swaru and a few others, Anika, the Tagetan Pleiadians, in contact with people here on Earth, sharing this kind of information. Now, this is what I call the right stuff, because it gets me looking at how I've got to be responsible. It gets me back into empowering myself and others with these, ideas. And it's our ideas which create a reality through agreement and belief. So, okay, let's listen to a little more and see what happens.
I think what he said without saying there is once you master spirit, mind, body, and spirit, like this man has, as far as going out of body, controlling dreams, all this stuff, that's dude's got that in the bag. So what's next? We're listening to a person who has been there, done that, and that's old. This is firing him up. So
broken shoes or not, If they are fed lies, they will fall into it. Most races in 5D still believe Federation being all good or whatever. They are also matrixed, even up there. You yourself said that. How do you expect people in 3D to suddenly unite and defeat this? Real people, broken shoes, either are the same people in the Federation who control this as literal mirrors of them, or the system is only set up as to only be able to access the Federation from Earth, as incarnated there, starseeds or not. Or, seeing this from an earthbound perspective, it would also be valid to see as the Federation not really existing for them. It is in another plane of existence. So, from that point of view, there is no Federation on seeing what happens on Earth. And whatever happens there is only as the direct result of the law of mirrors and the formation of a clear collective unconscious that amounts to being the matrix itself. So as long as the people create that collective unconscious that in turn is creating the mess, it cannot be stopped. So by the law of mirrors, if they only see regressive things, then they will only get more of that, creating the vicious circle they are in. The Federation level controllers are the direct creation or result of the collective unconscious of the people of Earth. They are a mirror of one another. That's why the ones in Saturn are so regressive. It is the people again, with all their vices, bureaucracy, corruption, greed. You said they will manifest negative if all they see is negative, law of mirrors. Exactly. They will get more of regressive things if all they see are regressive things. That's why media takeover or removal of censorship at least is crucial. Without it, I say, it's all doomed. And those that are in control of that are not broken shoes, but Illuminati, who are linked to Saturn levels. So those need to be removed. I know you say that you want to hear Yasky, but I want to quote Carl Jung again, who also claims that the kings and gods on and off Earth are the direct creation of the people themselves. Quoted from the in-book comment, The Tibetan Book of the Dead, published in 1925. Who is Yasky a creation of? Aneka, Ragel, you exist. No one here has created you. The opposite, it's you who are creating mirrors down here. Because of you, those mirrors exist. From one level, we are all creations of ourselves. And as in that same book, Jung claims that people cannot easily handle a double-edged sword statement, being that kings and gods exist both as the direct creation of the people, the collective matrix, and also existing on their own, by their own means. Interestingly enough, Jung, back in 1925, when he wrote this, actually used the very word matrix. What about people down here existing as a creation of those above? I think that's even more true. Mirrors, immersed 5D people in 3D avatars, etc. A mirror would not create its reflection ever, because they are just angles of the same thing, as seen from a more expanded perspective. So there are no mirrors as such, only as an idea or partial explanation of why someone may exist in more than one place at the same time. Yes, but what I mean is that I, Gosia, am a
And there have been reports of people being seen in two places at once. The term is called Astral Double. This has said to have happened when people are out of body a lot of times. Something.
A creation of my 5D self and above. Gosha exists because she is a reflection of me in 5D and higher, not reverse. They are part of the same thing. No, you did not create her, nor did she you. You are just one, period. I understand, but my point is, humans down here did not really create the Federation, when looking specifically that way.